Hello, welcome to Weekend Winners in association with BetVictor. We're looking forward to the big action at Newbury, the Mill Reef Stakes, plus the Ayr Gold Cup and Silver Cup going on this weekend too. Different look, my team today, and of course me as well. No Kate and no Deck. They're both away, not together, I understand, but they're both back next week. Jamie Lynch is here and Sam Boswell, a resident, the only sort of permanent member of the staff on Weekend Winners.
I know, flew back from holiday specifically to make sure there was an existing, original member of the team.
Really one of the three here.
We're looking forward to it, aren't we? Good weekend action ahead, and we're going to change it up and have a little look. Jamie, you've got a few clips for us as well.
There's been a double eviction, as they'd say, Big Brother, hasn't there? And I'm afraid that's just the modern way. If you're no good, you're out. So you and me are in for now.
We are, temporarily.
Yeah.
But look, it's the Mill Reef. It's a race that's got a pretty good roll call. I mean, you've got to go back to Ribchester, I think, haven't you, for the last real horse that went on to do great things in later life.
But the way that this race is set up this year, it has got that wow factor from that wow debutant, which we'll come to later.
We will do. So lots to look forward to today. Now, where are we going to start? Shall we start with the 1:30 over at Newbury, which is the World Trophy Stakes? Now, this is a sprint race. We know the sprint division has been muddling, to say the least, this year. This is a Group 3 race, but there's certainly horses in here, like Montasib, who've got Group 1 winning form.
Yeah, so we've got Rumstar at the head of the betting, but with a penalty, and we've got this fella. So let's talk about Montasib, Enzo, because we're going back in time here in order to see him in winning action. And he's got all of the tools and all of the power that you would want to see for a horse to win a level race like this. But the question is, off that absence at this trip, is he going to be good enough, fast enough, in order to win en route to the bigger target ahead?
I was looking at his record fresh. He has won twice out of 3 attempts first time out, so it wouldn't be a huge surprise were he to win this. They must be frustrated they missed the season with him, though, mustn't they? Seeing horses win races that he's probably better than winning Group 1s. But, he showed how good he is. He's got that turn of foot of a proper sprinter, isn't he, Sam?
Definitely. My only question mark about him is this the stepping stone towards Ascot and Champions Day?
Possibly, yeah.
We think we're 16-1, which is the top price out there for him to go and claim that race. I would be inclined to suggest that if he's going to be winning that, I guess he's going to have to be near his best here. But that would just be the only thing that would temper my enthusiasm, that maybe he's just going to be entitled to lead the run. Because what is it, best part of a year off?
I don't think he needs soft ground either. He won a Sprint Cup on good ground, didn't he?
No.
So I think the ground's going to be absolutely fine. There is a bit of rain forecast as well for Newbury on Saturday.
The ground will be perfect for this filly, Rage of Bambi, who has really raised her game this summer, Sam, including here at Newbury.
I'm a big fan. She's going to be my selection in the race here, and we're watching her win, and she does it really nicely and proved this was no fluke. I think this was about 33-1 chance on the day, because the form coming into this race had been pretty moderate. I think it's very much fair to say, but backed it up by finishing 4th in the Hungerford next time out, and that run looks to be working out really well. We've had the Doncaster, the 4 days up there. You look at Marvel, managed at the Park Stakes. King's Gamble, who finishes second in this race, ended up second in that race.
And actually, Sam, this is Fair Angelica as well, who won the Scepter Stakes up at Doncaster as well.
And that looked a good renewal of the Group 3 up there, I thought, in fairness, pretty deep. So, yeah, I think she's just a little bit in the market. I think she'll shorten. I think people will cotton on, and I don't know what it is, but obviously maybe you've got track form here as well. There's just a lot to like about her chances, and I thought in an open race where I wanted to take the favourite on it, I just thought it was a little bit short, Rumstar at 3-1. I kind of wanted to find something at a dart, and 6-1, I thought she was a fair price.
Yeah, any rain wouldn't be an issue either for her.
And talking of rain as well, Enzo, if we go back to the betting, my fantasy is a real long shot, but I think that the rain might be key to Grand Grey, who comes in here arguably with one piece of the strongest form that you'll see. Now, he's not even on the graphic. 20-1 and upwards, Sam, for Grand Grey. Yeah. But let me tell you about this horse, because I remember him in the Prix de l'Abbé last year, having gone very close in winning the trial run, the Prix Petit Couvert, and then he was sold for big money to Kevin Ryan. The debut for Ryan was brilliant behind Sajia, who went on to win the Prix Maurice de Guiche. Now, it hasn't happened for Grand Grey since then, but the reset button has been pressed. Softer ground, Jamie Spencer up a well-run race. There's just reasons for thinking that horse can run really well.
And as we know, backing favourites in group race sprints this year, you'll be long since skint. So you might have to look at something bigger in the market here. I think Rumstar is short enough, isn't he? I know he's got some solid form. There's probably something in here that will beat him, whether it's a Rage of Bambi or even a Grand Grey. We shall see. That's the 1:30, the Dubai International Airport World Trophy Stakes Group 3 race. Now, Moving on to the 205 race. This is the Autumn Cup, a race which has got a great history, isn't it? I love this race. Just shy of a mile and 3/4. Some informed runners, 2 from the Haggas yard, both with chances. Dramatic Star in Castle Cove. An informed stayer from Ian Williams' yard in Baylor Bay as well, and Majestic Warrior, who could be the sort of lightly raced lurker for the very much informed James Tate yard, who cannot stop having winners. Right, where do we start? Jamie Lynch. We'll start with Baylor Bay, perhaps.
Yeah. He's up against some lightly raced horses here, which worries me, but the strength of form is really strong. This is last week in the Mallard, and if I was to pick out the first and the second and the third, so the winner was subsequent, the second was Baylor Bay, and the third was Roaring Legend. You can see for yourself how there is a big discrepancy in a horse who's coming all the way, not from the rear, but from last of all with just 3 furlongs to go. And a staggering stat looking at the sectional times is that Baylor Bay ran the fastest of the field in each of the last 5 furlongs.
Wow.
A remarkable finishing split. You can see him powering up to no avail in the sense of it was one of those races where it fooled you, it was deceptive. You thought they were going a good gallop to the naked eye, but in actual fact, the power base was towards the front. I'd be worried, Sam, about the 8-day turnaround normally, but actually this is a horse who thrives on his racing.
He won 3 in a row, didn't he? I remember the Racing League win at Chepstow was on the back of another 2 wins. He does win in spates, this horse, doesn't he? He's got that one run.
Yes.
And if you start it sort of about 2 out, he makes that move. I think he's a brilliant horse. He's been a great horse for Ian Williams.
He has been a brilliant horse, and Jamie Spencer gets to go on him today, and Jamie Spencer will have watched that and thought, I'd quite let it go on that, and he gets that chance. So he's up against some dark horses, but he brings really strong form to the table.
Yeah, he's the one, isn't he, with a solid handicap form. We've got a couple of Haggas runners in the race, one of which I'm a little bit keen on. I must admit, Castle Cove, I think, will go well here. This is a son of Camelot.
You'll have to point him out. Put the number 1 ahead on the top of Castle Cove. There, look at that, perfect. So this was his Chester reappearance. He'd been off for a long time before this, Enzo, hadn't he?
And the third horse here is Ayr Gold Cup, who runs a bit later on. Grey Cuban was second, Hugo Palmer's horse, a horse of Charlie Johnson's, who loves Chester. Kittal, with the white face. We know about Kittal, don't we, around Chester? He finishes 4th. I think this is strong Chester form. He was held up this day, just had to sort of angle to the outside. I thought Kieran finally gave him a lovely ride, really. Gets the momentum, gets the revs up, and, you know, this is solid enough form. He looks like a horse who's got a bit more to offer, I think.
He's gone sideways rather than forward from this, but they were in really strong races at both Goodwood and Sandown, and if anything, this is a little bit easier, including for tempo, because he's gone up slightly in trip as well today. So he is one of 2 William Haggas horses who still falls into the unexposed category in this.
Yeah, the other one, Dramatic Star, had that hard race, didn't he, Sam, at Haydock, when he just got beat by his stablemate, the Reverend.
Yeah, I'm going to go to that Haydock race for my selection because viewers will know that I chanced Master Builder that day. I'm going to go in again. I think just watching the Haydock run back, it's a shame we haven't got it, Jamie, because you'd be drawing arrows all over the fact that William Buick that day got caught wide and just covered so much more ground. But the finishing effort definitely suggested to me that, I mean, they got dropped a pound means nothing, does it? But I think off a mark of 91, he could be really effective here potentially. And David been saying interested, but Pat Cosgrave for the ride, who obviously it's a big day for him at Newbury, given who he's going to be riding in the Mill Reef. But he's in absolute flying form. Had a treble at Yarmouth. Yeah, just couldn't stop having winners. So hopefully his confidence can help Master Builder's chances. He's just an each-way play for me in a race that I thought was very open and quite a tricky heat.
I do think that getting on a bit of easier ground again will really help Master Builder. When you think back to last autumn, he really took off, didn't he, on the autumn ground?
His best run came in April this year, didn't it, at Epsom, I should say. And I think that was, you know, there was a little bit of ease in the ground then. So hopefully he can make the frame.
OK, that's the Autumn Cup. Any final thoughts, Jamie?
Baylor Bay wins. Final thought? Final answer?
That's pretty final. That's the Autumn Cup done and dusted. The race I'm looking forward to most this weekend is the Dubai duty-free Mill Reef Stakes Group 2 for the 2-year-olds. Run this year, of course, in honour of Jeff Lewis, the brilliant trainer and rider of yesteryear who sadly passed away recently. 2 horses dominate the betting here, Words of Truth and Into the Sky, although Rock On Thunder's an interesting runner as well. He's got a solid profile, but we've got to start with Into the Sky, haven't we, after this brilliant, dazzling 80-1 winning debut, Jamie Lynch.
So you only see a debut like this probably only 5 or 6 times a year. Anywhere in the world. Such was the wow factor that it generated. It came from left field as well, Sam, didn't it? Because nothing in the price nor the stable to herald that this storm might be brewing.
He's... I was there that day, and like you say, Jamie, you don't get many things that really take your breath away when you watch racing regularly, but this was just fantastic to see something so different. It's refreshing, isn't it? You know, only 25,000, and it's great to see a different trainer having a horse with such potential upside. And I wouldn't be too much of a stats and measures guy. I'm a bit more visual, and anyone can see just how impressive this was. A few people are going to question what was in the field that day, but I don't care what was in behind. A manner of this win, first time out, I think you've just got to massively, massively be impressed and upgrade the performance.
So striking, isn't it, even that shot? And if you just wind it forward slightly, we are starting to get some early signs about what he beat. He beat Daylight, effectively. But we've got horses here who've run subsequently. So just to pick them out, this is the Godolphin horse, Leon Alato, who ran last night at Kempton and improved about £22 based on what they showed there. This is Manly Fireball, who finishes 4th and has improved £24 on the next run in finishing 3rd. And even this horse, Royalist, improved £14 in finishing 3rd on his next start. It just tells us that these are sort of novice winning standard horses, and yet that one's a long way ahead.
So how do you rate this horse on the back of that win? I mean, his section, the last furlong came back quick as well, didn't it? So I mean, there's so much to like. Well,
we can look at the sectionals because we've got the TPD data via attheraces.com. And the first point to make about the pace bar is it's bright red all the way through, i.e. he was going faster than par, too fast really, to be able to finish as he did, which is an unusual sign. The second point is he's number 1, ranked highest for both top speed and final speed. But the critical element is the finishing speed percentage, where his is above 100% and everything else is 98% or lower. And I call this the Calandagan effect. Can you remember in the King Edward VII? It was exactly the same finishing speed percentage for him against the rest in the... Everything about those horses in that race told us that Calandagan should not be able to do what he was doing at the end of that King Edward VII. And much is the case here with Into the Sky.
Do you think he's going to improve a lot? Interesting, Pat Cosgrave, the interview he did at Yarmouth yesterday, when he was saying he's not sure the horse is going to improve that much, but he might not have to. I mean, if he repeats that, surely he wins again.
You talk about ratings. We don't have an official handicapper rating as yet because they don't publish them after one run, but Timeform and Racing Post ratings have both gone 3 digits, which is almost unheard of, to have a horse rated in the hundreds after just one start. And in theory, Enzo, that's enough to win a Mill Reef on just his second start. Against horses who bring pattern race form, Rock on Thunder, for example, I think he'll be a tough nut to crack based on not just what we saw, but the process with which he went about in the gym crack. But I think my point about this race, Sam, is that this is called Weekend Winners. We're trying to find winners, but this is about weekend wonders, isn't it? We're all wondering, what's in this mystery box? What if he really is a worldie? And it's hard to say you should put your money down on him because the evidence is too scant. But who can not watch that race on Saturday?
And I think that's what's really exciting. I'm so pleased the horse has stayed with Jim Boyle as well. There was plenty of offers on the table, I believe, but I think the way the deal got worked out was that the horse gets to stay with him, and the owners that were originally involved still involved, which is fantastic for them. So I think it's a really nice feel-good story as well, potentially, to have, you know, an underdog is probably a disrespectful term to Jim, but he would never have had a horse this good at this age, and I think that's what's so exciting as well. It's good for the sport as well to see that.
It is, isn't it? Jim Boyle's such a good trainer down in Epsom, of course. I mean, we associate Jim with winning handicaps, don't we, around Brighton and places like that. But, you know, he's capable. It just shows, give him a good horse, give him... I mean, he's a Starman, isn't he? Who's becoming this sort of wonder sire almost this season.
Yeah.
So Starman, in his first season as a sire, has had 4 pattern winners, including the best filly in Britain, Venetian Sun. So it's remarkable how he's passed that on. But Jim Boyle, as you said, it's been something of a coming-of-age season for him. Many men went very close to winning the Melrose, didn't he?
Yeah.
And this was his first ever first-time out 2-year-old winner. Imagine producing something like that.
Charlie Appleby runs Words of Truth. Where do we stand with him? 2 wins out of 3 starts. He looks an improving type. Whether he's at the top of the sort of Godolphin rankings, I don't know, but he looks a big danger.
I think it's hard to make him favourite.
Yeah.
Given the hype around Into the Sky and the proven form of Rock on Thunder, are we resting a little bit on Charlie Appleby for the mere fact that, well, this horse is here and therefore he's default favourite? Because you can't quite get his novice form up to the level of one or both of the other two. So you are reliant on the Godolphin factor, which is real and it is true. And they did have Wise Approach entered in this, didn't there, Enzo, who would have been favourite even whatever Into the Sky had done. But I just feel like that horse doesn't deserve to be quite the price he is based on the nuts and bolts of those 2 novice wins.
I'm with him. I think if he was trained by Charlie Appleby or the Gosdens, he'd be odds on for this race. So are you thinking he's the winner?
I think you're right. I think that if Into the Sky had a big stable, that he'd be long odds on and we'd be talking about him about a potential worldie. I
think he'll shorten as well from where he is now. I think people will... Those visual clues will get played out time and time again, and it's just so impressive. So it'll be very interesting to see where the market ends up.
He goes off favourite, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I think he'll go shorter.
OK, just the 25 runners to go through for the big handicap, which is the Ayr Gold Cup up there on the west coast of Scotland. I'm just glad I'm not calling this race this year. Did it a few years ago. Absolute nightmare. Northern Ticker is the hot favourite, though, at 11-2. Two Tribes at 8-1. But Flash Harry is a horse we're going to talk about, Sam Boswell.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see the horse. This was at the penultimate start in the Ayr Cup, where he went from the front, and I think the sectional suggested perhaps the rider just asked a bit too much of this horse, because next time out with a lead, he went two better, I should say, and won. But he's a really nice type. Clive Cox has won this race just once in the past, back in 2008. Interesting, isn't it? Draw-wise, he's in 15. I think that's a big positive. Go back through the annals of time, you've really struggled to find more than, I think, 6 winners from single-digits draws since 2005. The higher the draw, the better for me. Pace-wise as well, it's quite interesting for a horse like him. There's plenty of pace around him, drawn sort of high to middle the pace, it feels like, in this race. So I think he could improve again. He's a very lightly raced. The ground could be a question mark. Jamie, you and me would talk about the weather. We're on weather watch, as we always are on Weekend Winners. All his starts on turf have been on good to firm, but the sire won on heavy ground. The dam's got a bit of suggestion there to say that ease won't be an issue. So I thought Clive Cox's horse was perhaps just a bit overpriced and one to play each way in what looks as we'd always expect an open race.
Yeah, looked good, didn't he, after that run at Ascot? And the winner of that race, Prince of India, what was he, third at York in that listed race?
Oh, yeah.
So he's a good
he
horse.
still had a Champions Day sprint, didn't he?
Yeah.
Entry.
Marco Botti's horse.
This is Northern Ticker, though.
Yeah, it's a horse I like.
3-year-old from the Michael Dodds team. We're going back in time just to see almost the start of his surge, which happened last year. But he's gone onwards and upwards from this, and he's now approaching in a real position of power, Enzo, after his York win.
We know the trader can do great things as well, don't we? Michael Dodds with sprinters. We've seen that in the past. He's had many Group 1 winners. Just looks like a horse that's going the right way. Obviously, this was back at Newcastle's second start in early August. Again, the form of this race isn't worth 2 bob, but it's the manner of the win, isn't it? Paul Mulredden barely had to move this day, and obviously this, as you say, this sort of set the foundations for better things. He went after this to win again up at Carlisle, and I thought his runs this year have been pretty good. I mean, that York win last time out in a really competitive race, Jamie, was absolutely excellent. I mean, Sam, he's going to be the favourite, isn't he? And what sort of price are we looking at? 6?
Oh, you see, these races now, we see these late plunges, and it just, the markets completely can shift so significantly. I think the big hitters like to wait till late, don't they? And understandably so, to have all the data at their fingertips. I wouldn't be so sure he definitely goes off favourite.
OK.
I think Ain't Nobody, if he'd had a better draw, definitely would.
Ticker's got 19, isn't he? So
yeah, he's won on the draw, I'd say, on that front. So I wouldn't say you're necessarily wrong, but I wouldn't be as confident. We can see all sorts happen in these races.
Ain't Nobody is officially, £13 well in today, if you believe that Nunthorpe effort, which takes a bit of believing and with a pinch of salt, but he's drawn 1, as you said. Drawn in 2, and therefore not ideal, is Pero Sang, a horse who interests me in very high on the radar. I've just knocked this graphic up to explain why Pero Sang is and how he is a different horse when he gets on testing ground. Look at that. The only 4 times he's been in the mud. Second to Big Evs in Molecombe, won the Rockingham at York, second to an Abbey winner, Makarova, in that Sandown Group 3, and then the mighty Quinault gave him a scare at York at the end of last year. So whenever Pero Sang gets soft ground, he is a different horse, and he can do big damage off this mark. So I'm not on weather watch, I'm on rain dance watch, because I really am hoping that first-time cheap pieces and the rain, it's all stars aligning for him.
Angie Belding as well, Ashley Murphy, they can't do anything wrong, can they?
You remember, was it 2014? It was a red letter day for Asheen Murphy, the day of his big arrival as a claimer. He rode 4 winners at this day, including Highland Calori for Andrew Balding,
Yep, OK. So we're thinking Pura Sanga at a price. Yeah. You're a Flash Harry fan?
Yes. Kevin Ryan runners, though, obviously his record in the race is great, and he's throwing plenty at it, including, obviously, the horses that we've already touched on, Ain't Nobody. But I'd be interested to see just if there's any significant support for any of his other runners.
Will they split into 2, possibly 3 groups?
You're the expert. Did they split when you called it?
Yeah.
Was it a clean call?
I got the winner. It was Summergan.
He got the winner.
I got the winner, Summergan. Don't worry about the place horses. I'm so glad Summergan won it, because he's a horse I recognise.
Do you prefer it when they split? Is it easier when they split?
It's
harder?
I'd rather just stay in one cluster, because otherwise you've got eyes everywhere. And obviously you've got your camera, and sometimes the director might focus stand side, so you've got to use the bins for the far side, and then you kind of...
So you heard of jockeys in the Ayr Gold Cup. Pity the poor commentator, stay in one group.
It's that time when we reveal our best bets for the weekend. Ayr Gold Cup and Mill Reef Day. Ayr and Newbury taking centre stage. But Sam Boswell of BetVictor, the sponsors, who is your nap and next best, please.
Yeah, going for the nap trick. So got to try and get three in a row. I'll blow my own trumpet, don't worry. Well, I think I just copied Kate because she was on a great run of form, and we both managed to find the winner in Ireland. But we're going to go this week up to Scotland for the 150 at Ayr, which is a listed contest, and Almeric returns after a significant break. You remember this horse won the Fielden at Newmarket.
Absent since.
Yeah, absent since, but the quotes after that race were very encouraging. Wasn't in the Derby, but they were going to go to the Dante and then look at the French Derby potentially as well. I think the key for this horse is obviously, I want to see the market support here, but if it comes, I think he really should be up to winning a race of this nature. I really, really do. I think a little bit of cut in the ground is going to be key, which the horse should get up to 1 mile 2. I'd be really disappointed if it's not there or thereabouts.
Bad news is I've copied you. He's my nap as well.
Oh, great.
We really should talk beforehand.
We do have great taste, clearly.
Yeah.
The next best, I'm going to be a little bit lazy here and put, I think I'm going to go with Into the Sky in the Mill Reef. I want to see this horse back up what he did. And I think racing needs these kind of horses to come through and really do that. And everything about the performance, whether you believe your eyes, whether you believe numbers, suggests that this is a really good horse, and I really hope he can stamp his authority and really, put some interest back into the Mill Reef as well. I think he's going to be a big runner, and fingers crossed for Jim Boyle who'll get the job done.
And if there is a superstar in that race, it's him, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one we want to win it.
Definitely.
Okay, long shot?
I'm going to be a bit unoriginal here, just stick with my Ayr Gold Cup selection that we've spoken about earlier in the show in Flash Harry. I think Clive Cox, for me, he trains these horses really well. We've got the draw, we've got the pace. The ground is probably the question mark here to be a little bit concerned about. But let's see what happens. I'm hopeful that the rain might arrive. Too late for Jamie's selection in that race, but early enough that mine means he goes well.
OK, Almeric, great nap though, Sam, hopefully. Right, Jamie Lynch, our senior analyst, what do you think? What's your nap next best and long shot, please, sir?
The nap is in the Ayr Silver Cup, Bin Haria for William Haggas, a 3-year-old who won over course and distance on some softish ground earlier in the summer, and that form has worked out exceptionally well since when he ran into Addison Gray in the Grays race and then ran brilliantly against the Bias at Ascot. So I think he could go off a really short price. One of those Ayr gambles on the day. A Haggas hot pot that's a 3-year-old. Bin Haria, I think that's got a power play in the Ayr Silver Cup. The next best is a horse who we'll all know, but Jer Bat, who keeps on knocking on the door, knocking loudly, including at Doncaster last week. His perfect playground is 5 furlongs on soft ground around Chester. He's got that. He's also got a low draw, and he's got William Pyle as well, which effectively takes his mark down to 85. So Jer Bat, it's now or never for him. And then the long shot in the World Trophy, we spoke about him in conjunction with that segment, but Grand Grey, I think there are significant dots to join with him. The Sagia form, the break, and back on softish ground as well.
Yep, Spencer on board as well. You like him, don't you, Grand Grey? So that's the Jamie Lynch trio for the weekend. Rather boringly, I've got the same nap as Sam with Almeric. I just think, as Sam said, off since the Fielden, but so impressive at Newmarket in a listed race. I think he's a group horse, isn't he? This lad, Andrew Balding, has had a brilliant season, more winners numerically than anybody. He should be champion trainer, shouldn't he, really, Andrew Balding?
By all the metrics, we should
it's crazy he's not going to be. But there we go, it's done on prize money. So, he is at 7-4. I think that's fair enough. I like Carfiz. Now, Roger Variant very rarely leaves Ayr Gold Cup Day without a winner. So I think his winner could be Carfiz this time around for Sylvester Sousa. He's lost. Remember, he scrambled home at Falls On at Doncaster, the race we showed you in midsummer. Then he got beaten at Deauville. But look, that was a Group 3 last time out behind Sarlan. So, that form's not bad now. I just think back into this sort of company, he's probably a lurk. Look, the handicap has not missed him. He's around 4-1, 9-2. But I think Carfiz for Sylvester and the Varian team can win that. He's taking on more exposed handicappers in that handicap over the mile. So I'm going to go for Carfiz there. And I like one in the Silver Cup. I respect Jamie's selection, obviously, but I'm going for a bit of each way value, hopefully, with a James Owen horse who's got a brilliant draw, I think, and a jockey in great form, Kieran Schumacher. Lots to be said about how well Kieran's riding at the moment as well. Stall 24, far above Dream. I really liked his win last time out at Goodwood, an improving sprinter, 3-year-old. James Owen as well. Sprinters, Arabians, point-to-pointers. What can't he do, James
chases.
Owen? Incredible. Yeah. He is such a good trainer, so hopefully that horse can run well there. So good luck to everybody's selections. Thank you for watching Weekend Winners. And you're back next week?
Yeah, we'll be back next week, cover everything, and we'll let Kate and Declan come back, shall we?
And whether we come back next week depends on how those nap, next best and long shots do.
Jamie, Billy, thanks. Sam, many thanks as ever. Hopefully you've enjoyed this edition of Weekend Winners.